June 1982. I'm sitting in a packed theater watching E.T. for the first time. And like millions of others, I'm completely mesmerized. Fast forward 40 years, and I just watched the amazing IMAX re-release of E.T. And I still haven't worked with Steven Spielberg. And neither of you. But here's the real question. Why aren't we? Before you click away thinking, I don't work on the movies, stick with me. Because Spielberg isn't just Spielberg. He's a metaphor for anyone who's mastered their craft. And anyone who's creating work that moves millions. Anyone who's changing the world. Your Spielberg might be Demis Hassabis from DeepMind if you're in tech. Or maybe it's Dr. Katharine Hayhoe if you're fighting climate change. Or Rick Rubin if you're in music. The name doesn't matter. What matters is why you're not working with them. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. Most of us think we're Spielberg. We imagine ourselves as the visionary, the creative force, the leader. But here's the reality check. Spielberg was directing 8mm movies when he was 12. He was making feature-length movies at 16. He had already mastered his craft before most of us decide what we like for breakfast. If you're not at the absolute peak of your game before 30, you're probably not going to be the next Spielberg. And that's completely okay. Because there's something much more achievable and equally rewarding. Being the person Spielberg wants to work with. Think about what Spielberg really represents. He's someone who mastered his craft early and completely, creates work that moves millions, consistently delivers at the highest level, solves massive creative problems and logistical problems, and he brings out the best in the people around him. Does that sound familiar? That's because these are the exact same qualities you'll find in any field's top performers, the people you actually want to work with. But let me tell you the embarrassing truth. I've actually had access at this level. I've partnered with Mark Cuban and Kevin O'Leary. I've had lunch with Terry Gilliam. I've hung out with Randy Newman. And you know what I did with all that access? Nothing. I blew it. Completely and utterly blew it. Terry Gilliam once told me something I'll never forget. Just start making and fuck what other people think of it. Trust your instincts while working on your craft. But instead of taking his advice, I let my ego get in the way. I didn't ask questions. I didn't seek guidance. I just existed in the same space, thinking that was enough. I didn't even try to create things of impact. Here's the truth about why you're not working with the Spielbergs of your industry. You're not where they are. When you are where they are, you don't talk to them. When you do talk to them, you don't ask the right questions. And most importantly, you're not bringing anything to the table. Everyone has ideas. Everyone. Your Uber driver has a movie idea. Your barista has a startup idea. There's this idea floating around. We're in the idea economy, and that's bullshit. The real currency isn't ideas, it's competence. So what's the competence paradox? Here it is. Here's the paradox. While you're waiting for your big break, your ideal mentor is waiting for someone competent enough to work with. They're not looking for yes men or idea people. They're looking for independent thinkers who can execute. When I met these influential people, I made a crucial mistake. Instead of focusing on what I could learn and improve while still creating, I just waited, as if proximity alone would make magic happen. So here's what actually works. Whether you want to work with Spielberg or any other master of their craft, master your craft first. Create consistently, even if it's not perfect. Be where the influencers are, but with something to show. Ask questions that demonstrate your competence. Bring solutions, not just ideas. The people who end up working with industry leaders aren't usually the ones with the best elevator pitch. They're the ones who've been quietly mastering their craft, creating consistently, and solving real problems. Here's something I haven't talked about yet. While you're focused on working with today's Spielbergs, you might be missing out on tomorrow's. That brilliant climate scientist in a small lab, that innovative educator revolutionizing learning in rural areas, that entrepreneur solving problems nobody else sees. These are the people who aren't household names yet, but they're already showing the same traits. Obsessive mastery of their craft, consistent creation, solving real problems, and most importantly, making an impact. Look for people who are already doing the work with some recognition, or solving problems in unique ways, and building something bigger than themselves. They're consistently delivering even on a small scale, and they're attracting other talented people. The beautiful thing about working with emerging leaders is that you can grow together. You're not trying to join a finished masterpiece. You're helping to paint it. The next time you watch E.T. or any other masterpiece, whether it's a film, a product, or a world-changing initiative, don't ask yourself why you're not Spielberg. Ask yourself what you're doing to be the kind of person Spielberg would want to work with. Because that's how you actually get in the room. And remember what Terry Gilliam said to me. Just start making. The Spielbergs of your industry are actually waiting for you. They're just waiting for someone who's actually ready. Hit subscribe for more uncomfortable truths about success, and share this with someone who needs to hear it.